Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome to Reus 2 Ice Age, an expansion for Reus 2 that will be available for general sale for y'all on Thursday, January 16th. But thanks to our friends at Fire Squid and Abby Games, I've been given early access to show off some of the features to y'all and just to get back into Reus 2, which is something I've been looking forward to very much. Hopefully some of you have as well. But if you are unfamiliar with this game, if you haven't seen my earlier series on it, don't worry, you won't be left behind. I'll be explaining what we're doing and how it works as we go. So with that, let's just get in here. There's a new biome, a whole new biome, some new leaders, some new turning points. There have also been some other additions to the game since I last played. I didn't jump into any of the updates because I knew I wanted to wait for the big Ice Age DLC. So we're going to get to explore all of that kind of stuff. So we're just going to start ourselves a new planet. And honestly, I kind of think I just need one to get back into the swing of things here. I don't really know what I want to do. We're going to go random leader, random giants except... Can I do random giants except one? It looks like no, I have to choose. Because obviously, I want to play with the new giant and the new biome, right? Let's just go... oh, that's interesting. It seems like they have been, some of the natural features have been changed. Because it used to be both of these giants would create creeks, but now this one creates an invasive spot. Is that the case? Oh yeah, okay, every giant has their own special natural feature now. Oh, that's neat. That's a good idea. Okay, let's just take the basic giants for the other slots here. And yeah, go to it. We'll just try to generate some prosperity, see one of the new turning points, and get the hang of the game once again. So, if you've never played Reus 2, this is the thing. Welcome to your new world. It's a big featureless wasteland. Your job over the course of several eras of gameplay is to drive this prosperity value up as high as possible and accede to the whims and notions of your growing human population. So these people want to settle somewhere, and in order to settle them, we need to create some terrain for them to settle on. So I'm going to start by putting down an ocean here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 patches for ocean, for reasons that we'll talk about later. We're going to create some of this Ice Age terrain. Can automatically upgrade on Legacy Biotica with extinct... Okay, well, I mean, we don't need to try to interpret this. We will see the mechanics with our own eyes. We'll make about half of the planet that, half of the remaining planet that, and then you can terraform the rest of it as a forest. I think that's going to leave a patch because they don't let you terraform too close to the edge of where somebody else has the terraform order down. In a second here, we're going to tell our settlers to wander over. I'm going to say, here, make this forest, and let's settle these nomads near the spot where these biomes unite, like one tile off to the side here. The miner. Oh, actually, you're the miner. So each different planet leader gives you a different bonus for the whole planet, and I believe with the miner, actually, well, you know what? We're gonna put him down right here. We're just gonna try some stuff. So the miner's deal is, first of all, every different city founder gains different resources from the mystery resource. So he gets 5 science and 2 money from each mystery. Okay. Well, we've got our first little settlement here, Northern Fort. So Northern Fort has taken up this patch, and it has claimed these 2 other patches within its city borders. So when we put down Biotica on these patches, the city will harvest the value from them. Our first goal with the miner is to get 3 technology going and have 2 minerals within the borders. So let's grab our frost giant here. Our 3 different giants are create biotica of different types. The frost giant creates minerals, the ocean giant creates animals, and the forest giant, something like that, forest giant I think, creates plants. It's been a minute. And placing a new bioticum, as noted there, will cost us 5 eon. So this is like our timer, effectively. We only get to make so many changes to the world in each era. All right. Generally speaking, minerals produce gold and science. Animals produce food and gold. And plants produce science and food. So you get your 3 resources broken up in a couple of different ways. Let's start with a little bit of science. So what do we have here in the tundra? Sedge just gives 20 science. That seems pretty strong. And this carrot will give us some food and more food if it is adjacent to another plant. Well, let's start with a sedge then. So you can see here the city has this much science built up. When enough science builds up, it converts into a point of technology. There we go. We gained 1. We just need to get 1 more, which is going to require another 10 science. What kind of minerals do we have here? Slate. When you complete a picked era, remove this bioticum and raise the slot level by 1. Oh, that's interesting. And it has a pretty high output. You know what? Let's go ahead and throw down some slate. Alright, we just got to put down 1 more mineral within the city borders to reach our bonus here. So yeah, we'll make some mossy stone over here as well. Sometimes slots have boosters in them, like this slot will produce extra money. So obviously we wouldn't want to put a low yield, we wouldn't want to put a bioticum that yields little or no money in that space. But I think the miner's going to want a lot of science and technology. So we'll just do this here, and we'll leave that we'll make that decision later. All right, as you fill in the spaces in the city, cities will slowly reach out and grab more territory so that they can continue gaining more resources. And there are things you can do to influence the way that they do that. We'll worry about that stuff later. The city's ready for an upgrade, but before we do that, the first time you complete a request in each of your first 2 villages, you immediately get another nomad who is ready to spawn a new village. So let's see here. Do we want a merchant who is very gold focused, or a diplomat who is focused on general prosperity for all? You know what? Let's call the diplomat in, and we'll just put the diplomat down over here by the ocean. So, when cities gain enough food, they gain a point of population. When they gain enough science, they gain a point of technology. When they gain enough wealth, or when they gain enough gold, they get a point of wealth. These larger resources are the things that are tracked by your challenges. And every time one of these numbers goes up, you gain a prosperity for your village, and the prosperity of the world is just all of your villages added together. So the diplomat quarter here, she just wants to have 5 prosperity in her starting village. Alright, her starting village of Ashenberg. So let's get our giants over here. Let's see what's what. It doesn't matter what we have or what we build for her. She reached out to the ocean side right away, and we have a 50% resource output booster for plants here. So let's start with that. We could get 20 total resources from this thing if we just put a mineral next to it. That seems like a winner. Blueberries. Love to have some rocks nearby, I guess. Up here on land. Okay, 15 gold rising to 20 if next to a plant. That seems like a pretty obvious winner. We also have access to a plant down here, or a rock down here that would get not just bonus science, but also bonus biodiversity. You'll notice the biodiversity of each one of our biomes is being tracked separately. It goes up every time you add a new kind of thing to the biome, and it's not very important right now, but it will be eventually. I think let's just do this. Let's do this Mossagate. Get maximum value here. These two things play pretty well together. And once all this gets combined in, yeah, this city will be at its 5 prosperity. And like I said, that gets us quest completion, gets us the reward for the quest, which in this case is a draft charge, and we'll talk about those in a minute. And also gets us one more nomad. So we could take the inventor, who is always looking for science, and gets 3 science from each point of mystery we find him, or the poet, who wishes for peace and sees the beauty in everything, and does significantly better with mystery. I'm going to call the poet, because the poet's one of the new characters. I've never gotten to play with that before. Okay, so the poet is also the kind of general prosperity focused. That'll be interesting. All right, so while the poet's walking over, let's talk to the miner here in Northern Fort. This leader is looking to build a new project. So we could start a stonecutter project, which will get us 40 or 100 bonus science if there are 2 or 4 biotica with the element tag within the city borders. Or we could do one that'll do gold for gem-tagged biotica, or toolsmith, which will get us 1 extra science for each science in the mineral within the city borders that has the most science. And that one, you can see it caps at 125. Without having a really good sense of what lies ahead, let's we're already at 2 elements. Let's go stonecutter. So they will begin to construct the project. And you can see here, because we're already at 2, we get some of that science right away. And each additional level of the city project requires more and more resources. All right, they're almost there. That ringing sound will stop once they put the village up. So let's take a quick look here at our existing biotica. We have this quartz, which has the element and gem tags. Slate, which has the element, military, and extinct tags. And then we probably don't have anything else that has element, because element tends to be a mineral sort of tag. So right now we have slate, and we have the mossy stone over here is also an element. We can put down a quartz, which doesn't particularly care about its surroundings or anything. That'll get us to 3, but well, does it say they have to be different? Can they all be the same? Okay, we could just put down another one of a type we already have to hit 4 here. Maybe that's what we'll do. So let's see, you need a little bit more stone, or a little bit more money, and a little bit more science. The miner's spirit bonus that he bestows on the entire planet when selected as your first leader gives +5 science and +1 gold to each distinct element. Which obviously is pretty good. We want to focus really hard on these biotica that have the element tag. We're already over these. We just need to put down another mineral. So there's a kind of mineral we didn't build yet, right? We didn't build the moss agate. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. We'll just put one of these down in the open slot over here. It wants to be adjacent to a plant, and you can see it is adjacent to that sedge. So we've completed another quest there. Pretty easy. Alright, what's going on in Northernville? We need to gain just a couple of points of prosperity. So they have a food booster here. Let's look at our other kinds of Ice Age biotica. The ground squirrel is another weird one. When placed, lock this bioticum. Unlock 1 random cohort bioticum of 1 stars, which permanently gains plus 100% resource outputs. What a strange... Okay, we're going to figure out exactly how this works. Let's go put one of these guys down. Also, let's walk the other giants over here. What do we have plant-wise? Oh, that's right, we looked at these already. Okay, so this is going to lock this ground squirrel in place, presumably. Or maybe it means it locks it out of the menu? Yeah, okay, it removes it from the menu entirely. Okay, interesting. Evolved the following biotica alder plant. So it added the alder with this evolution trait that has doubled its outputs. That's very unusual. That's very different from how any of the other biome stuff in the base game works. All right. She's ready to step up here. We want to start a new project here in Ashenberg. So try to place element biotica within borders. I mean, we know we have good reasons to play with elements. We can get a larger amount of total food if we dig in on this fruit biotica thing. I have to say, just like, because she is focused on just general prosperity generation, it does feel like the option that gives us the most total resources is probably the winner. And we already have one fruit bioticum down, so yeah, let's go fruit picker. Okay, so in order to, we also have to get 3 cities up to 10 prosperity. We already have the minor city is there, obviously. This one's very close. It should be pretty easy for us to push through this. Now, if we put some, you can see here, this is her expansion interest meter. It'll go up as we fill in the biotica spaces within the city, because they'll want to be able to reach out and grab more stuff. But it will also go up as we place biotica just outside. I'd really like her to expand this way so we have more room to put down fruiting plants, because as you might imagine, there's not a ton of fruit in the ocean biome. So we're going to nudge her in this direction. It's worth noting we don't have access to any other kind of fruit. This is the only thing we have right now that has the fruit tag. So let's go ahead and spend one of our draft charges. See if we can't fix that problem. So we pick a biome. We are drafting for the forest biome here. And you can see it reminds us, hey, you have a village being led by this person in this biome. And we get to draft an apex biome and a couple of cohorts that come with it. When you place an apex biome, it will consume some of the biodiversity of the area. So that's why it's important to maintain, to keep pushing your biodiversity value up, because these apex biotica are quite powerful relative to normal ones. You can see this apple tree can easily put out 70 food, whereas most of the normal stuff we're putting down is like in the neighborhood of 15 to 20. It does give us 2 different sources of fruit, so yeah, I think that's a winner. And also the squirrel, which provides extra food and biodiversity if it can be adjacent to some trees. Apple tree seems like a winner. Alright, we want to put down the apple tree, and we'd like to get at least 2 adjacent fruit. Well, I mean, that's pretty simple, right? It costs 2 biodiversity to put this down, so you're going to see this number drop to 1, but then go back up to 2 once it's accounting for, hey, now there's a new type of tree over here. We will build the pear tree just right next to it. Pear tree just wants to be adjacent to 2 different bioticum types, and by that it means, animal, plant, mineral. You can see the city has run out and expanded borders to catch all this new stuff. And then we can put down a blueberry here. And if we put a mineral right next to it, it will satisfy a second bioticum type for the pear tree, and also the mineral that the blueberry needs. And it probably makes sense for it to be a moss agate. Well, I mean, these both generate 20 resources. It is worth noting that the mossy stone is also producing another resource there. The little orange skull above a bone is supposed to be representative of like danger. I think it's called threat. I don't actually know what the threat resource does at this moment. It's something new with the DLC. There was a version of this idea in the first game, but obviously we can't necessarily assume that things will work here as they did there. I'm just gonna put down. Well, you know what? Let's put down the thing that has the element tag on it. All right, and that has drawn their attention once again. Look at all this. Look at all of this interest. There are rumors of vast biotica bounties just beyond the border. We've also run out of Eon in our first era, so it is time to. We're gonna let this expand out and let the city expand out and grab these tiles. Let the resources flow in, and you can see we have fulfilled fruit picker now, so the city's gained a bunch of extra food. And look at all the points of prosperity. We still need to upgrade the Poet's City, but we'll have time to do that in a moment here. So once this is all locked in, by the way, you can see down here in the corner a log of the relations between the cities. This is another new mechanic with the expansion. Cities have likes and dislikes. They appreciate certain traits in other leaders. They can end up in open conflict with other leaders, and they will develop military strength. Okay. The more threat a city has, the better its military gets. That's interesting. And then they can raid and go to war with the other cities and steal resources from them and stuff. This is a system that I'm going to be adjusting to live. I've never seen it before. But yeah, I think that's a pretty okay opening era. Let's just continue on. So as we move forward into our that's the starting era. Now we enter the first real era. And there are different kinds of first era that you can have, and which ones are available to you is based on based on meeting certain conditions. Like the Age of Philosophy turning point would have required that technology be our planet's highest stat. It wasn't. We could do a Neolithic revolution because we had at least 2 cities that had 3 population. We could enter a Monument Age because we had a city that had at least 4 wealth. Or we could enter an Iron Age because we had a city with minerals and enough technology. And they each give us different quests with different rewards at different stages of completion. I think arbitrarily, it's like we have 2 people who just want to produce prosperity of any kind, right? And then one guy who's quite science focused. So I wonder if actually this might be a good time for an Iron Age. Because he'll want to just drive up, with tools at our disposal, the road is clear to tame the bounties of the earth. Will you help the miner exploit the planet's crust? He'll want to just drive technology up as high as possible, and we can do technology stuff in the other villages too, because they don't care what kind of improvements they're getting as long as they're getting improvements. So we will unlock the Iron Bioticum. The miner will build the Great Forge, which improves the science of minerals within his borders, and we will have to push along this quest here. So he has built this Great Forge. Let's have a look at the buildings tab in his city. So 0.5 science for each science in minerals within borders. We're doing quite well on that. So that building is already worth 52.5 science, which puts us over the threshold for this first reward. And the second thing is we just have to get total technology up to 20 on the planet, which should be fairly easy, I would think. All right, so your thing's good. You're pretty happy. What we really need to do is get the Poet's Village up to level 10. So we would like to focus on science with the Poet if we can to help push up to 20 technology. And it looks like actually he is well set up for that. We can get some science for undergrowth biotica, food and science for tree, fish, and element biotica, or some science and some money for distinct sets of plant, mineral, and animal. Well, this is the largest total amount of resources, although obviously it is nice for the herbalist that this comes all as science. However, the more points of a resource, the more points of population, technology, or wealth that you have, the more of the underlying resource it takes to generate the next point. So you actually generate prosperity most effectively by trying to raise all 3 of them evenly. if you just like hyper focus on science, you're going to get into a position where you have technology points costing 100 science each, while your next point of population would still be only like 20 or 30 food. So it is a good idea to spread out your resource gains for maximum prosperity in the long term. We're going to take Scribe here, and we will just make sure we place a lot of things that gain science. We're gonna hit this threshold. I'm not worried about it. So we need to get 1 plant, 1 animal, and 1 mineral within borders for his level 2 thing. And then also, we'd love to get to actually do two distinct sets for the Scribe project. We have 1 animal. Let's put down some other stuff. Get everybody over here. So we've unlocked iron. Iron produces 15 science plus 5 science for each iron in this biome, but it generates a massive biodiversity penalty if it is adjacent to other iron. So let's tuck one of these right next to the city. And then we need a plant to complete our first set here. This would like to be next to an extinct bioticum. So we have an extinct bioticum. Yeah, just the one for the moment. We might want to draft some more stuff, actually. Uh-oh, the poet has sent out raiders to steal technology from the diplomat. Is that necessary? I mean, I guess that's fine. It's not going to increase the amount of technology on the planet. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to let that happen. None of my business. You know, what the humans get up to, that's their thing. Okay, so we could lay down another copy of Slate, but you know what? Let's do a draft and see if we can pull some new interesting extinct biotica, perhaps. Yeah, for example, Primal Flint or Steppe Bison. So there are some things that have the military tag. That's new. Obviously, that's going to feed into military strength in some way. So the Steppe Bison outputs like a fairly low amount of food. It has a lot of interesting tags, though. Plus 40 food and 1 threat for each adjacent plant. And we're looking for a plant that wants to be... We have a plant that wants to be adjacent to an extinct thing, so that's kind of interesting already. Or we could take this Primal Flint, which has a really wild science output, and all extinct biotica in this biome gain bonus food. Also gives us access to Casteroides, which is an extinct bioticum, and Bone, which is an extinct bioticum. Okay. And this has that science focus that we were looking for. So let's put down one of those. Do we have... Yeah, we have the biodiversity for this. So all other extinct biotica in the zone get that. And then we'll put down our alder right here. That pushed the Poet Village prosperity high enough for that other village project to finish. And I think that should get us over 15 prosperity. Pretty good. So you'll notice, in addition to border expanders and raiders, occasionally cities will send out like trade missions. See, each of these resources does something when it builds up to a certain point. At enough population, your city will invent emblems, which can be awarded to your biotica to improve their output. With enough science, your city, with enough technologies, your city will come up with inventions. For example, we figured out how to make fur coats out of our ground squirrels, and that's generating some extra wealth for the city. And then with enough wealth, the city can run trade routes out to the other nearby settlements in order to gain access to their inventions as well. So this here is exactly such a trade mission. Northern Fort is going to come over here and learn about the fur coats. Yeah, they did simultaneous trade missions. So they're going to learn about statues produced from this mossy stone. Okay. Anyway, we're trying to maximize the output of this building. We finished our city request, but I still want to get this building paying out all the way, right? So we have a couple of minerals. One plant, one animal. We just need one more plant and one more animal. Let's come over here. We're going to put down a sea anemone in the shallow water. And then a clownfish, which gets significant bonus resource output from being placed next to the sea anemone. The mystery resource is by far the most common in the ocean biome. So that's why I tend to put leaders who get a lot of stuff out of a point of mystery close to the coast where possible. You can see here we have 3 points of mystery now, and that's generating... each one of those is generating 3 gold and 5 science. And that, in fact, got us past our 20 technology on the planet. We 3-starred this age really, really fast. We just needed to get to 80 global prosperity after that, and we were already there. Okay, so things are going splendidly. Because we've got a 3-star on this age, we're going to get lots of rewards as we enter the next age, the next era. So, all right, Miner Town is now on its level 3 request already. You can see when we finish this, we'll get another draft charge. We'll get an upgrade charge, which will be meaningful, and then of course we'll get a bunch of prosperity. Every time you complete a quest, you get some prosperity. So we need to push these values even higher and get more minerals down within the borders here. I'm going to spend some more of our draft charges. First of all, I think we should probably take another Ice Age, just because this is the new stuff, and so I'm most interested in it. Sakhalin Amber is another Extinct Biotica. All Extinct Biotica in this biome gain plus 40 gold. That's interesting. The Onion, which has the Undergrowth tag twice, for each bioticum that has a base food yield in this biome. So this thing could end up being worth an awful lot of food. Up to 6 times that bonus. And we're starting to see these 2-star biotica. Slots can normally only hold 1-star biotica. In order to place higher level stuff, we have to spend some of those upgrade charges that we're accumulating. Or we could pick up this Direwolf, which has a lot of fancy stuff. The Evolve trait, some Threat, and it unlocks some... Okay, just like a lot of creatures. This is a very animal-heavy unlock set. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Mostly what we're looking for here is like science, right? Science and minerals. So I'm inclined to go for the Amber, even though it's not very scientific, just because it's the one that has the most minerals. And then let's see about unlocking some new stuff. So we have an Evolve gem here. This is not super high output, but I do want to place a thing with the Evolve trait is really pretty much as quickly as possible, right? So that you can get access to a new payout. So what has this evolved for us? It has given us access to Jasper, which is... Wait, that is a mineral, right? Is it... Ah, okay, it can give you access to minerals for other biomes as well. Jasper is an ocean mineral with a higher, a higher payout. That's interesting. The Diplomat is also looking for her 3rd level, and you notice we're already doing very, very well on our city prosperity, so we have half of that finished. We need to gain... See, this is tough. We need to gain 14 points of science here. We might... Oh, well, one thing that would help a lot is if we actually finish Stonecutter, which I totally forgot about. We should definitely put down some iron here. Where do I want to... I might replace this quartz. Well, the quartz also has the element tag. I need to gain element tags. I just also need to make sure, in terms of expansion, I want to make sure that it's Northern Fort that's trying to expand. I wouldn't want Northernville, totally different town, to come out here and grab this territory first. I guess the fact that Northern Fort is a little closer to it, there's only one patch between the city and this patch, means that if they did both go after it at the same time, Northern Fort would get there first. That might be a good enough reason to put it down here. All right, and then we just want to motivate them to expand. So you can see now they have as many pluses as minuses. We just need them to tip over. And I think we could do that either by placing another thing here or by placing within their own borders. Let's come over here. Because I would like to make sure we're nudging just this city and not the other city toward expansion. So if we're going to get more science... okay, well, we do have these ash trees. They're kind of unimpressive, but it is just more raw stuff. Is that enough to push you over? Not quite. You know what? Let's spend a draft charge. The forest could use some more improvements, right? Can we get some science output? So boars come with a fruit, not a fruit tree, a fruit bush, and a bird that cares a lot about the harmony tag. Or a bird that has the harmony tag. It actually just cares about being next to different bioticum. That's a lot of food on that bird. Okay, here we go. This is a little bit more compelling. So a tree that cares about being adjacent to other trees. We already do have a couple of kinds of trees unlocked, so this might be a really good fit for us. And then the beaver, who benefits from there being a lot of trees unlocked. Or spectralite, which is mostly... yeah, this unlocks that's pretty money focused. Let's take the beaver and its cohorts. And that includes the pear tree, but we already have the pear tree, obviously. So we can put down a white willow here. That'll be slightly better total resource output than placing another ash, and it will add to our biodiversity. And that does indeed push the city over the limits here. Oh, and the diplomat worships the forest giant, grateful for the plants they've received. The miner worships the frost giant, grateful for their minerals. Interesting. Okay, so when the city expands out in this direction, we should see Stonecutter complete because it'll grab its fourth element. And that is going to improve... yeah, wow, the payout of a lot of stuff went up there. Yeah, our Great Forge is worth a huge amount of science at this point. What a good building. Unfortunately, that's not going to get us anywhere near 25. 25 that's tough. That's a big pull. We may have to, we may have to engage in some trickery to get that high. All right, well, we only have 5 more Eon for this era, so we're going to build one more thing and then it's going to come to an end. I think for the moment, we have one empty slot over here. You know where we don't have any improvements at all, where we probably could use a little bit of love, is the ocean. The other biomes can only get so far ahead. Like, we're going to have to level our ocean up at least a little bit in order to push the max biome rank higher. So let's grab new biomes for the ocean. Keeping in mind that both of our ocean villages mostly just want raw output. They don't care so much what it is. Pearls can be worth an awful lot of resources. We've already unlocked Jasper thanks to our evolving biotica. And the sea crate is fine. It has a bunch of interesting tags, but we currently don't have anything that actually benefits from these yet. So tuna could end up also with 80 points of resources on it. So that's something, and it does unlock more new stuff. Leads us into fish tags. And here we get a bunch of reef elements. The 2 villages that we have near the water do benefit from mystery pretty strongly, but I don't think anywhere near enough for this to be more resources than like we get from the tuna. Let's take the tuna and the fish. And I guess we'll pay some attention to the ocean then. Now, obviously, biodiversity in the ocean's pretty low, but it turns out this tuna doesn't really require much. So it gets plus 20 for each adjacent fish bioticum up to 3 times. So I guess I'm just going to put it down here. 3 slots adjacent to it. We'll just build fish around it. This stuff's already paid off. And that will bring our era to an end. And we maxed out everybody's specialty buildings for this era, right? Yep, Scribe is doing what the Scribe does. Stonecutter is at its top. The reason that it's important to do that is these buildings will, at the end of the era, you will lock in the bonuses from these buildings and they'll no longer recalculate. So it's nice to hit the continue button with everything at its peak. Humanity has achieved excellence through the sweat of honest work and hot furnaces. Yeah, 3 stars. So, as a reward for completing this Iron Age with so much skill, we get a little bit of bonus, prosperity, and also some rerolls for our draft charges. All right, we've unlocked a couple of different kinds of third eras here. We could go castles and knights, where each of the 3 cities will develop a type of castle. Or we can have the miner's city make a profane discovery. You know what? This one's cute. I think let's do this plague. An evil scientist from the miner's city has made a profane discovery. This does not bode well for the humans, but your interest is piqued. Will you help the scientist complete his experiment? Of course we will. It makes the numbers go up. So, first we'll have to get the miner to 20 technology and get the planet as a whole up to 20 population. We are at 19 population for the planet as a whole already, so that's pretty straightforward. And the miner is at 17, so we're pretty close to that as well. And now that we've entered a new era, people are ready to move up to the next level of their project upgrades, so we can get a bunch of extra gold. That really is a lot if there's enough gem biotica. Notice distinct gems, so we need 5 different gems. The weaponsmith gives extra science and threat for each food, science, and gold in the military bioticum with the highest values. I don't, off the top of my head, know how... I don't know if we have good military biotica for this. Or we could continue to focus on element tags and get up to 200, get up to 100 gold and 100 science from that. The project that we're working on right now, the city project that we're working on, wants both of these numbers to go up. I think the statue is a reasonable addition to our city. Also, it's a statue of a really buff Lorax, like a super badass looking Lorax. I think that's a weird. Okay, I mean whatever. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do. Okay, everybody else also wants project upgrades. If we can get up to 6 fruit biotica, we can get 240 bonus food. That's pretty exciting. The animal breeder will give us 100 of each resource, so an even higher amount of total value if we can get 2 distinct domesticable biotica. I don't think... Do we have anything with that tag right now? I imagine that's a tag that only appears on animals, of course. Okay, rabbits are domesticable, sure. And the beavers aren't, but we could try to find a second one through draft tags. I do like the idea of going with the 100 of each resource. And then the tavern just wants distinct animals within borders. That would be easy to hit, but the rewards aren't quite as good. Yeah, let's go animal breeder. I think I like that quite a bit. And then last one, Poet Town. What is the poet thinking about? We want to start a new project. We could get 50 food, 50 science, and 20 mystery from Coral Diver if we can get enough ocean plants going. Up to 240 gold for fur biotica. 200 gold just for there being 10 things in the city, which I guess is like fine. 200 science. I mean, I'm inclined to go for this. So this would be 50 food, 50 science, and then 60 food and 100 more science. Is that right? Am I remembering what his history pad is? It would be 60 gold and 100 more science. I mean, that's definitely the best overall payout. Yeah, we'll go Coral Diver. So they want 3 to 4 ocean plants. Currently there's 1. We'll make it work. So be it. Obviously, we're going to have to expand out into the ocean a little bit to facilitate that, but I think that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so let's get to work. First of all, more element tags. They don't need to be distinct. They can be the same elements that we've already laid down. So you can see the spaces that previously held extinct biotica have been vacated and also leveled up. This it's a little hard to see because of the booster, but there is a 2 on this, so this space can now hold a 2-star bioticum. Same deal over here, and in fact this would like a gold booster. You know, we do still need to make some wealth. What do we have as far as cool 2-stars? Well, we could use this to push that slot even higher. These are both extinct. Plus 75 gold and tagged gem for each adjacent bioticum that is 2 stars. I don't know that we're going to level up anything else around here. I think I'm just going to put down this amber. We still need to generate a bunch of extra science, but this will be a good amount of gold. Oh, what is this? The diplomat built a temple in honor of the forest giant. Oh no, sorry. The miner built a temple in honor of the frost giant, and the diplomat also built a temple at the same time. So we've gained this temple of Igir. Wow, which already has a lot of resource payouts. If we can get up to 8 minerals, it's just going to get even better. That's a new feature, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember that stuff happening before. Okay, so just continue to play minerals. We would love to gain 2 more minerals. Currently, there's not room for that within the city borders, but we can figure it out. So, if we're going to put something down over here, we currently don't have primal flint. And it's got a pretty good yield. And we have several extinct biotica generating bonus value for each other. All right, so that pushed our population up because we got a little bit of bonus food. We're getting real close to the 25 technology that we need for the miner here. And the next stage of this devious experiment requires even more population growth. We're going to, get that going over in the other cities. I would love to just finish this off if we could. So if we can just gain 30 science. And we know that if we if we just put 1 more mineral within borders, especially if it's an element, we'll gain a ton of science. So, what's your expansion interest level like? Pretty high. Okay, so can we put down 1 more element out here? Oh, you can do elements. Iron is able to be placed in other biomes. And neither of these things care about distinct biotica. No, it can just be a thing we already have. Okay, well, I think if we put down iron here, there's a pretty good chance the city will immediately expand to grab it, and we'll finish off both of our improvement buildings and also the Miner Town project all at once. Right? Hell yeah. Okay, let's go have a look over here. Uh-oh, the poet sent out raiders to steal technology from the diplomat. I don't know if I care about that. Like, it's not a big deal for you to lose technology, I think. So we have the ability to intercede. They've given each of the giants these offensive abilities. Create a blizzard to destroy groups of people or damage cities. Using it to defend a city that is being attacked might improve the relationship between the giant and that city and also give 5... Oh, and also give 5 mystery. Or if we use it on a city, obviously it damages the city and makes the relationship worse. Well, hold on, though. Let's get our forest giant over here and see if we can interrupt this attack, because it seems like we might get some resources for it. Provided that the giant can make it over here in time. These are the raiders, right? Yeah. They'll try to turn 2 technology into 1 to 4 technology for themselves. So if we let them fight, we may actually see a total gain in prosperity. But I want to see about interrupting their attack. So our giant generates a great big tornado. Okay, yeah, pretty bad news for them. And the diplomat is grateful that their protector forest giant defended their city. Also, these people are dead, for sure. So we just had a resource gain, right? Yep, 5 mystery from when the forest giant defended them, which turns out to be... Okay, well, she's actually got not the best mystery yields, but... Anyway, also her new temple produces extra resources if there are a lot of plants within the borders. So we want to get to 2 domesticable animals, and then probably a little bit of plant focus beyond that. And obviously with the fruits and everything, we are well positioned for that. Do any of our fish have that trait? No, none of these are fish that you can keep in your house. It's hard to grow a tuna in a tank. How's your expansion feeling now? Okay, you have like 5 minuses due to your current size, and you have fewer. So I think if we populate this area, Ashenberg will be more likely to come out and grab it. I think we do want to put down a rabbit. Does it matter? I guess whether we should put it down in this space or this space depends on what we're going to do with the other space, right? Because there may be some things that would want to be next to a plant. So we don't yet know until we know what the other domesticable creature is. So let's try to find one here. Now, unfortunately, we've been handed a lot of 3-star biotica. We will not be able to use anything that has is 3 stars just yet, because our upgrade charges don't produce level 3 slots until the 3rd era. This one does have the Corsac, which is some kind of adorable little creature, but apparently not the kind of creature you can keep in your house. Nor the Palace Cat, nor these doves. I think we're going to use one of our 6 reroll charges. Try to find ourselves a domesticable animal. Not a lot of luck so far. There's some cool stuff here, but we are on the lookout for a particular trait. Yet, musk deer, don't really want to bring those inside your house. I'm wondering if maybe this trait is rarer than I thought it was. Apparently, gray wolves are... Yeah, you could do that with a wolf. Why not? Who says you can't? The gore, also domesticable, but a 3-star creature, so that's not going to work. Okay, gray wolf it is. Requires 4 biodiversity. Each of the apex biotica requires significantly more biodiversity for instances beyond the first. And then this amber is cool because this is both a forest and an ocean bioticum, so we will have unlocked it for both of those. Okay, let's unlock our gray wolf. Do we have 4 spare? Yeah, we have enough biodiversity to throw that down. So the wolf would like to be next to herbivores. Or no, sorry, the wolf just wants herbivores to exist in the biome. That's fine. And the rabbit doesn't need to be next to anything in particular. Neither does the iron. Okay, it doesn't seem like it matters very much. We'll just put him down. Oh, except that Grey Wolf's a level 2. Right. Well, let's get a giant over here and fix that. So we have acquired 4 upgrade charges. We can just spend an upgrade charge to boost the slots. Like I said, right now we can only boost them to level 2 for the moment. That's totally fine. Put this Grey Wolf here. And some rabbits next to it. And I think that should trigger a border expansion from Ashenberg. Yep. So many fantastic stories of cool shit. Cool things to bring inside of our homes. Alright, that's not going to get her to 40 prosperity by itself, but it's probably gonna do a fair amount. Right? 100 of each resource plus the actual resource payout of these creatures is going to be fairly good. So she needs to gain 12 points overall? Actually, she is going to get there, isn't she? Yeah, it turns out when you're generating all 3 of the different resource types at the same time, you can create a lot of prosperity very, very quickly. Okay, cool. What about you? So your upgrade requires us to put out some ocean plants. We could probably afford to do another ocean draft here, honestly. Obviously, I would love to grab some ocean plants. By the way, I said earlier that I would explain why I always put 8 patches in my ocean to start with. It's the marlin is specifically why. There is a creature that gets a lot of bonus resources if there are at least 8 patches in your ocean. But yeah, I think obviously we want to take... I mean, we pretty much just want to take the one that has the most plants, right? So 60 bonus food for each set of plant and animal in the biome, and you can get that bonus up to 4 times. That sunfish is pretty powerful. Yeah, I think we'll take this. It comes with a 1-star. We'll have to put down a mineral within the area as well, but we probably want to do that on land. We could throw down a bone. I don't know that it matters too terribly much. Yeah, let's just put the bone down here. Right, because that is adjacent to 1 animal. That'll cover a second mineral within our borders, and then we can even max out the bonuses from the bone by placing another animal here. We're going to have enough time, I think. All right, and now we would like to focus on food-producing plants in particular, because the planet still needs a lot of points of population. So the bone will get some extra biodiversity if we put an animal down next to it. I guess, yeah, we may as well. You get a large amount of bonus money if next to 3 different bioticum types, which we are not going to be able to make happen here. But yeah, I think covering the bonus on the bone is good, and then also, honestly, that will probably be enough resources to generate the 40th point of prosperity, which is fine. You can see buildings that have been locked in already have this legacy tag, and they're just producing whatever they were producing at the end of the period you built them in. And let's produce some water plants here. So we have this plant, which does not want to be next to another thing with the expanse tag. None of you have the expanse tag, so I think we can put down a seagrass right here. And it gets the bonus, and we just have to be careful not to break it. And then if we put down a kelp, This kelp is still adjacent to a fish. I'm trying my best to nudge the biodiversity upward. We just pulled our first bonus from the coral diver, so that's going to help out a little bit. Is that going to push us over another? It is. It is going to get us another point of population, so that'll finish the 2-star level of our turning point. Okay, and then we just needed to get to 175 prosperity, which we absolutely did. And that we haven't even talked about the bonus of the turning point itself, which is plus 100 science if there's at least one toxic bioticum within borders, and it's caused the city to invent the forbidden formula. Plus 50 science if there are at least 2 toxic biotica within borders, and this is contagious. If this city exports something to another city, that city will also gain the formula. So we want to be hitting wealth thresholds in the other cities nearby, so they'll come over and grab stuff. And thus, okay, these guys have done it already. Huh. Furry suits produced from the gray wolf that, they really add an air of mystery to the proceedings, I suppose. And they went and got their toxic potion already, which is pretty great. So if we can push wealth up in Northernville a little bit, we can get them to run a trade route. And at this point, running the trade route in either direction will gain them the thing, because the version of it in this city is also contagious. So we want to generate a little bit more money, which I think we will. It's just a little bit, right? Yeah, it's 5 more money. And we will get that when we finish Coral Diver. So let's put down another plant. Obviously, it would be cool to put down more sargassum. But I also kind of don't want to spend an upgrade charge at this point. Like, if we just put down a seagrass on this patch just outside the city, can I provoke the city into expanding? If we put down another bioticum outside, we can add another plus to that second option, and that should overwhelm the minuses. So this sadly can only be placed in the shallow water, so we don't really have a lot of ocean options. Let's draft here again. I would love to see another plant. Yeah, red algae works. Red algae is a plant. Okay, we have a couple of different options with red algae. They're both 3-star options, but that's fine. We're heading into the 3-star era fairly soon anyway. So this would give us 2 new 1-star things. This gives us the 2-star turtle grass, which gets a significant bonus for being adjacent to other plants. Plus the dugong itself, all herbivore animals on the planet gain 50% food bonus if they're unique in their biome. Wow, the dugong seems really useful. Yeah, all right, let's unlock that. So we'll get a 2-star, a 3-star, and the dugong. And if I just put this down here, yeah, it doesn't have the expanse tag, so it doesn't ruin our other plants nearby. It is adjacent to a bioticum with a base food yield, so it's getting its own buff. And here come the border expanders. And then we've kind of accomplished all of our goals for this era, and we still have 37 Eon left to mess around with. All right, that's the trade mission. Once they engage in trade with Northern Fort, they should catch the thing. Unfortunately, a lot of our inventions are actually kind of crummy. Like, these furry suits are fantastic. That's a lot of points of resources, right? But most of the time, inventions are going to be like 1 thing or maybe 2 thing. Do we get to know what you grabbed? Okay, it was primitive tools. So yeah, just one point of technology. That's fine, I guess. Okay, so without breaking the bonuses from our favored buildings here. Let's just continue to expand the wealth of our cities. Oh, we can work toward these temples. So you want there to be more plants around. We do have some ability to place ocean plants. Although we really wanted these slots all to be fish, didn't we? Yeah, that's a little awkward. Honestly, I guess maybe we're just abandoning that plan. So we can put the tuna back down somewhere else later in a place that makes more sense. As it is, I'm going to get much better payout from... Well, mystery is not that valuable for you, though, is it? If we put down 4 more fish, or 4 more plants, we'll get 70 additional food, and then 25 mystery, which only ends up being 75 total resource points. Yeah, we still want to do it. It's still stuff, right? It's still value. So I think we'll overwrite the tuna. We'll make the tuna happen somewhere else. So what is a good set of things that we can put out here? We can generate some seagrass. Overwriting an existing biome has a lower eon cost than placing a new one. So you can adjust, correct mistakes that you have made in the past very cheaply, which I appreciate. We can just put down some red algae where that fish was. And then, like kelp and some kind of food, or how about a sea anemone up on the shallow ground? We're not actually gaining biodiversity here because all of these plants exist over on the other side of the ocean. I try to employ a lot of different things by habit, mostly. Okay, so the Temple of Satari is maxed out. And, the bonus payout's not totally amazing, but it's definitely worth pursuing. This would be giving us more food if we had a fish, and we do have a fish that likes to be adjacent to sea anemones. We also have some other interesting fish around here. I don't know, I might just leave this for right now. All right, what about the temple that you built? That's right, that temple is totally completed. Okay, do we have toxic biotica that we could place? Let me see the toxic tag. Animals can be toxic, of course, although we don't have any of those. Nor do we have any plants or anything. So I would love to get Evil Hideout firing before we hit the end of the era. This might be an okay time to visit the shop. So this button here opens up the Planet Shop, where we can spend our gained resources to buy various things. Population will buy extra nomads, allowing you to put up to 2 more cities, or the ability to expand the planet to just insert a bunch of new patches. Technology lets you buy micros, which can be slotted into Biotica to increase their outputs, or more border booster charges to just force a city to have to expand. Population can buy you terraforming charges, which can be used to create the terrain features unique to each giant, or just more upgrade charges. And then any of the 3 resources can be used to buy 5 more Eon for this era, or to buy another draft charge. I think we're going to grab a draft charge here. I would like to pull some more biotica for... Where do I think we're more likely to see a toxic plant? Maybe the Ice Age biome? The Ice Age biome is the one that's behind anyway. Okay, and we do have some rerolls if we don't come across anything. So the Musk Ox comes with some plants that are definitely not toxic. Okay, we got some toxic stuff here. Arsenic and chokecherry. And the tar pit. one of each resource for each resource in Legacy Biotica in this biome. So a Biotica is a Legacy Biotica if it was in a slot that got upgraded. When you upgrade a slot, it erases the Biotica that were there, but it keeps the memory of them and also their resource outputs attached to the slot. So the Forgotten Pits is for taking advantage of that. We have also seen that these creatures where we lock them in place and then they upgrade the slot afterward, they stick on as Legacy Biotica. So I think Tar Pit's pretty good. That's a lot of biodiversity that it consumes, but it will give us access to some toxic stuff. Yeah, this also gets bonus resources for Legacy Biotica in the slot. Okay, we'll take the Tar Pit. Now, we don't have to worry so much about the trade good. Because this is a luxury, it will remain active for the entire game, and so we can just fulfill it whenever. This building probably locks in its value at the end of this era, so we do need to make sure that we get the Toxic Bioticum down now. Now, the toxic stuff that we just picked up is... it was tier 2, right? The arsenic? Yeah, okay, it's 2 stars. So we do need to find a slot that is currently 2 stars. Did we have an upgrade around here? I don't think we did. Well, we can force it. We can just make one. That wants to be next to a plant. We're producing a decent amount of science here. So you want to be careful, like, when you're doing this, not to delete Biotica that are providing bonuses to other nearby Biotica. This quartz is, like, okay. I'm wondering if we should just create a new slot to put this in. Or if we should overwrite something and create a legacy situation. So it would like for there to be a decent payout from its space. This amber space is level 2. So when it says... Am I allowed to place more than amber? I would be once I got rid of this. I think we're going to update this space over here. Even though one of these slots is already level 2. Because we're going to lock in a pretty high value for this amber, turning it into a legacy bioticum. Or we're not, or it locks in the space. So you can see the legacy here. Oh, grants a 2-era discount on further Biotica placement. I did not realize that's definitely an expansion change. I did not realize that was doing that. That is really rad. Okay, so we're going to get a smaller benefit here because there's only 20 points of legacy stuff. But a big part of the point of this is just putting down the toxic tag, right? Oh, and also it's an element, so it's boosting element payouts. Okay, we got our evil hideout. If we added one more toxic, somehow we would get another 50 science here. And also, we are working on Metropolis of Industry. So one problem you might notice with Northern Fort is that it can no longer expand. Its borders press right up against the borders of its allies. This is a thing with some pretty significant downsides, but it's also fixable. I'm gonna buy an expansion charge here at the cost of 5 scoring 5 of our population. The game still remembers that we are at 28, but you know we have spent the scoring, the purchasing potential of some of that. And the way these work is you can have a giant deploy them between 2 patches to add 4 more patches to the planet, or you can do it entirely within the borders of a city to only add 2 patches, but those patches are automatically within the borders of the city. It doesn't need to do expansion stuff to cover them. I think I'm gonna drop them. I think I'm gonna drop them over. I'm gonna drop it right here. So we'll expand 4 neutral spaces between these 2 cities, and Northern Fort can just reach out and grab stuff the old-fashioned way. Okay. And now that we've got this opened up, let's talk about what goes inside. So we need to generate a very small amount more wealth. Literally 4 more wealth. But quite a lot of science yet. We mostly don't have great science plants. We could put down another iron over here, I suppose. That's the thing worth doing, because each iron boosts the yield of all of the irons. Plus, we're adding element tags, right? Uh-oh, the poet sent out raiders to steal technology from the diplomat. I probably want to stop that. And I want to stop it with this giant, because we can just generate some mystery for free every time we do this. Okay, I trust that is under control. We're not even gonna watch it this time. All right, so we also want to generate a little bit of money over here. You know, I suppose we could upgrade this slot as well. We could upgrade this area as well, and then we could put a jet in it to push the slot up to level 3 at the end of the era, and that would allow us to also put down some more, like also put down an arsenic or something like. I think I actually like that. We can buy an awful lot of upgrade charges. If we're going to do that, we should put down something to legacy in the other slot, right? Especially now that doing so gives you reduces the era cost of building more things. That was neat to find out about. So what do we want to put in the slot? What's going to get the most benefit? I guess the alder's pretty good because it is adjacent to an extinct bioticum there. So let's have you run over. Throw down a pretty decent stack of resources. Hit this area with an upgrade. And it wants to be adjacent to 2-star or higher stuff. This can only benefit from 50 points of legacy biotica, so I think it's okay. Yeah, that is 50 points. It's okay to build the arsenic here. It'll get its full dead coil bonus, or death coil bonus. And then put down the jet here so that this slot gets upgraded to 3 automatically when we end the era. And that leaves us with 2 Eon remaining. It may be the case that this guy is... do we have empty slots? We do. We have an empty slot within the borders. That's why he's not expanding. So let's go fill that in. What should that be? None of the stuff around here particularly cares. I suppose it would be good for it to be an herbivore, if we can get an herbivore that generates science or gold. just so that we can push the value of the gray wolf up. You know, you're an herbivore that would be adjacent to at least 2 different bioticum types, producing a fair amount of money. And I believe that is our first, that's our first one of those, so it gives us a little bit more biodiversity to play with as well. Let's just get you over here. Okay. So I think that should, yeah, that does cause them to spawn border expander. It does create the amount of wealth that we needed. And then, yep, when they expand their borders, I probably fast forwarded that a little bit too much, but when they do the border expansion, it causes them to gain enough science to finish the rest of the project, which is pretty nice. Alright, the time has come for a new era. Hey, you know what I didn't do? I didn't verify that we were for sure going to be able to get a new turning point. Because I do have some turning points for this next era unlocked, some of the new stuff. So this would require that the planet be covered by rainforest, savanna, or ocean for at least 60%. We do not have that. Have a city with at least 40 prosperity. Okay, that is a turning point we have access to, I believe. And for this, I must have not expanded the planet. Well, I just blew that. But we have cities at way higher than 40 prosperity. Yeah, so we'll be able to try out one of the new turning points. We got people running trade missions and stuff all over the place. Yeah, this is good. So the evil scientist has achieved success. We've spread the forbidden formula absolutely everywhere. It is poisoning all of the people, which for some reason is a thing we're happy about. That's good, we've decided. Yeah, look, it's only a it's kind of a temporary poison. They turn purple, but then they're good. Some might say better. Some might say they're even better. Walking around talking about how much they love kelp or whatever. But now they're purple. Who wouldn't want that? You see the one uninfected man walking back into town over there. All right, 3 stars means 1 more draft charge, 1 more reroll, 8 additional prosperity, and we're gonna try out this this new thing, the City of Dreams. Yeah, these are all the classics: the Space Race, the Sludge Corp, and so on. Okay, well, without a skyline, it just isn't even a city. The miners building the world's first skyscraper. Help them build a true metropolis. Okay, first step of that, miner has 75 prosperity. We know we have that finished already. The miner will start creating a majestic building that touches the sky. Having prosperous cities all around the world will speed up construction. That's a thing we're pretty good at. Once completed, the skyscraper will turn the city's highest gold bioticum into even more prosperity. Okay. And we will immediately gain 2 border booster charges. Pretty handy. Okay, so we did finish that first charge right away. We just raced right through the construction of that skyscraper. It was remarkably easy. Everybody's very happy about it, and only most of them are undead. So it has been providing bonuses to us. Hold on a second. Let me just pause the simulation here. What exactly is it doing? Here we go. Plus 100 resources of each type for each completed level 3 city request on the planet. We do have 3 of those done. That's pretty rad. Plus 0.3 of each resource for each gold in the bioticum within borders that has the highest gold. That is only 36. I'm sure we can get a higher value than that. And then plus 5% each resource for each distinct bioticum within borders. Okay, so the statue and the evil hideout did indeed lock in. The Temple of Aegir did not. Okay, so we didn't need to be in such a hurry on that. But yes, that first thing was just have 75 prosperity. We were already there. This next one is miner has 180 prosperity, and honestly, with all the resources that are pouring out of this skyscraper immediately, we could get there. That's an awful lot of stuff. It's slowing down a little bit. Okay, we're going to be in the 150s. still not a huge run from here, and we haven't even picked out the town's new boost building yet. So we have that to do yet in each of the towns. We have one final era remaining, 112 era to complete the City of Dreams. After we get to 180 prosperity for the miner, then we got to get him to 300. That's more challenging. we will do our level best. But I think this is maybe where I'm gonna call it for today. There's quite a lot of game left. I don't wanna try to push on and end up accidentally recording a 2.5 hour episode. So that's gonna be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we will complete the City of Our Dreams. I'm confident we can get there. And then, time permitting, maybe we'll jump into the next one. My plan here is to play enough games to at least see all of the new turning points, and get to play around with the new features a bunch. So I hope y'all are as excited for that as I am. Like I said, come back next time for that, and we'll see you then.